Namaste Ji, Namaste. Welcome to Courtroom by TLOI. Today we are going to be discussing about Mr. Shani. Now, whenever we talk about these grahas, as I have discussed in previous sessions as well, we want to understand what do they mean in human terms. I mean, otherwise the graha Saturn is going somewhere in the sky and, well, what sort of meaning does it have any which way on us? So all of these grahas, they symbolize a force that is available to us that we will meet during our existence in this specific realm on this specific graha. You're going to be encountering these various shades of life. So for example, we have already discussed what all does Ketu represent. So today we are going to be discussing about what all does Mr. Saturn or Shani Dev represent. Now, what is the one thing that we want more and more of, and what is the same? It is the same thing that we are most fearful of. You'll be like, perhaps it is money. You want more and more of it because these days we are living in such a yug that that Lakshmi Ma ki Shakti has become, become quite imperative or quite vital for our existence in this realm at least. However, there is one more thing that you want more and more of, and you are terrified of it, and that is time. Now, time is equal to Shani Dev in a sense, because he also represents aging. How do you age? You age via time. As more and more time keeps on passing by, you become older and older and older. And when you are in the 35 to 40 odd range, you're just sitting there one day and you're like, my life is gone pretty much because I have like 20, 25 left, 20, let's say in the case of when you're 40. And I mean, well, it's done for. So you want more and more of it. So for example, if you ever have experienced a parent's death or a sibling's death, you want more time. It is never really enough. Well, when the corpse is lying right there in front of you, you just feel like कि भाई 15 मिनट 15 मिनट तकरीबन अगर मुझे मिल जाए इस आदमी या महिला के साथ जस्ट 15 मिनट की बातचीत और हो जाए एक्चुअली ओवरऑल वी वांट समय कि हे ईश्वर में टाइम और दे दो है ना and we want more and more of time and we are scared. Who is not, who wants to age, who wants to become an older person any which way? Your body is aching, you are not exactly able to do all that you were once upon a time. You lack a lot of pran shakti um, to do things, right? So that is precisely what Mr. Shani Dev basically indicates. He is time himself, and time is the great devourer. He is basically, time eats all of us alive, right? And time is a really, really scary notion. He also indicates a lot of delays that you are going to be encountering in life. He's also the son of the sun. He's the SON, beta of sun, Surya Maharaj. Surya also represents soul, and soul ka beta, something that is resulting from the soul is also, can we not label him or associate it with him with our experiences, especially experiences of delays. Now, why delays? Because this is a very old force. So Saturn is never associated with younger folks as such. Younger folks are primarily Buddha Dev, right? The buttocks of the world and all that jazz. But Saturn is a very old force, and old people, if you just see them, A, they are much more calm than the younger folks. B, they are much more slow. They take a lot of time to take a decision. They cannot be manipulated as easily. They believe in the older fixed rituals, customs of society, and do not tolerate much change from the systems that were introduced in their generation, specifically their generation. They may have been rebels in their youth, but now when they go old, they do not want to let go of things. So it's a very very static, dry force that you're dealing with. Imagine आप काम करे जा रहे हैं और कोई result ही नहीं आ रहा. Those delays, they are very Saturninian in nature. Alrighty? So you encounter those delays and then you encounter a hell lot of experience as well. So you gather all that experience, and that is experience of your soul, because what else are you born here for any which way? You are here to experience this realm's endless drama. बाजी चाहे अतफाल दुनिया मेरे आगे, शब रोज होता है तमाशा मेरे आगे. Very very Ketu like energy. This we have discussed in the Ketu wala video. Now coming back to Shanishcharya or Shanidev, anytime that you end up meeting a very dry sort of an experience in life, wherein, you know, despite all of your efforts, you did not perhaps, you know, get anything out of it except experience, or there were a lot of blockages along the way, there was a lot of delay, there was an endless traffic jam before you could get to your destination. By the time that you got to your destination, you felt like just going back home. That is Saturn. That's why you offer him tail also, सरसों का तेल also, कि भैया थोड़ा सा जरा थोड़ा, because it's a very dry machine that you're encountering. तो तेल किस में डालेंगे आप? Just think about it. तेल आप किस पे कीजिए भाई साहब, प्लीज थोड़ा सा जल्दी चल लो, क्योंकि सही चीज सही टाइम पे मिलना ही खुशकिस्मती है. और अगर सही चीज तो आपको मिल गई लेकिन सही टाइम पे नहीं मिली. एक पुराना शेर है कि सड़क तुम अब आई हो जब सारा गांव शहर जा चुका है. कह रहे अब क्या करोगे आके? आग लगी, फायर ब्रिगेड 5 घंटे बाद आई. Congratulations, my friend. Everything's gone. So therefore, Saturn is this very force. If Ketu represents ending of things, the voids, the separations, Shanidev represents a very very old, dry, slow, stable, consistent force that is going to you, that is basically net going to end up in delays, in you experiencing delays, and from those delays you are going to get a lot of experience. And anytime a Jyotishi tells you Shani, 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 this, that, Shani, Shani, this, that, blah, blah, Shani Maharaj this and Shani Dev that, just know that, well, that you are encountering, you're going to be encountering a delay in that specific area of time or of your life. Now इसका कॉन्वर्स भी ट्रू है कि अगर आपके शनिदेव बहुत ही अच्छे, मतलब बहुत ही बढ़िया, तो सब कुछ आपको टाइम पे मिल जाएगा, क्या पता. That's how you interpret, right? लेकिन अगर आपके शनिदेव बहुत ही उच्च मतलब तरीके में आपके चार्ट में, you know, he's there, तो क्या पता भाई साहब बहुत उच्च के डिलेज मिल जाएं. This is, you know, this is a matter of interpretation basically, and this will basically a very competent Jyotishi you will need, because I'm not into full-time practice. I really do not do any consultations, because very frankly I'm not trained. I am more interested in the jurisprudential aspects of all of this, and I've always wished to understand as to what the hell is going on here, as to, like, even if when we are offering the sarso ka tel, who exactly are we offering to it? Why tel only? Why not ghee, for example? Have you ever, like, applied ghee in a machine to make it work faster or to reduce the noise? Think about it. So, you know, whenever you want to analyze all of this, then things, then you read up onto it, then you talk to wiser people than you. So Shanidev will give you a lot of experience in handling delays, and if he's really good and if he really bestows his blessings on you, perhaps he will not cause delays in your life and you will get things at the right time. It can work both ways. It can certainly work both ways. So anytime, you know, you are frustrated with an old I would say, archaic, antique system that just refuses to move. For example, our bureaucracy, it's endless delays once you engage with it with the minutest, the tiniest of paperwork. That is primarily the force of Shani Dev. And eventually you perhaps, end up encountering him in death. Very why death? Think about what is the net result of a funeral pyre. चिता के बाद क्या है? भस्म. Bhasma is very dry. I mean, it's the most driest thing. You just interact with it. It's like it's extremely dry. Anytime that you're facing any illnesses or anything in your life that are caused by dryness, perhaps it's a Saturn related issue, right? And that's what Saturn really is. And usually on a Saturday, I would have advised folks, well, not to take life very fast, but usually all night clubbing is done on Saturdays. It should have been done on Fridays, but that's a discussion that we'll leave on to when we discuss Shukra or Venus. So on Saturdays, usually, if you want to hyper align your life, you want to take things very, very slow because, well, Saturn is slow. So let us say that you're traveling on a Saturday, it will be prudent that you keep your car slow, perhaps on the 70-80 range on a highway. I mean, going fast on a Saturday at 120, that's just not alignment. I mean, I'm sure that you have traveled a lot without having this thought and nothing really affected you, so that's okay. I'm not saying that will cause an accident, but it's just alignment with the force. So that's why कभी कभार आपको ये भी सुनाई देगा कि बुधवार को ट्रैवल नहीं करते, उसके भी कुछ ना कुछ लॉजिक है. We are just, our Sanatan is just hyper aligned basically with the Navgrahas, I would say, specifically the Navgrahas, because they are the easiest things to observe in the sky, and their light we can observe, flowing freely in the sky. And then our people, our culture, our civilization has noted all of these facts and then basically given you a roadmap to life. And as we have already discussed about teachers, we've discussed a bit about Brihaspati, but we have to do a dedicated discussion on Brihaspati as well. But now coming back to Shani and Acha, I'll give you an example. So for example, if Shani and Guru are placed in your horoscopes, perhaps you will end up learning via very dry, strict Saturninian, very Sukhi Dandi type people who are just too goddamn strict and too direct. Yeah. If it is perhaps Jupiter and Mercury in a good combo, then perhaps you can learn from, or you will encounter those people who are very, very young and very, very good communicators. So that's how basically it is read out. I mean, what else? Some, forget about the supernatural, esoteric, occult stuff. Let's get real with what are the experiences that these grahas that we discuss about, that they give us. And as Navjot Singh Sidhu once very popularly said कि तजुर्बा जिंदगी की वो कंगी है, या तजुर्बा वो कंगी है जो जिंदगी आपको गंजा होने के बाद देती, right? So that is experience. Any time that Mr. Shanidev Maharaj tries, basically he gochars, he's very slow, so he's the slowest moving planet. He gochars in one Rashi for like 2.5 goddamn years. He last changed on the 29th of March 25 and ripped my entire world apart into two work-wise. And well, I mean, it just had to happen, and he's going to be sitting in that sign from 25 for 1 year, 26, then 27, then 27 endish sometime in 3 plus 6, 9. So sometime in September of 27 will he change. That's a lot of time. Jupiter moves one sign every year. Rahu, Ketu, they move 1.5 years, they keep on changing the sign. So the flavor of your life keeps on changing. But Shani Dev jahan aage baith gaye, wo to baith gaye. Sure, Shani Sadesati also is basically when he's transiting 2.5 years, wherever your moon is situated in your horoscope. So your man is going to get influenced by Shani Dev, since he's quite a large planet. His gravity also is going to impact there. And then what is going to happen is, firstly he'll hit the area of life that you are perhaps mostly closely attached to. So those 7.5 years, first the entry point wherein he's not sitting with your moon, and then when he's sitting with your moon, then basically he's going to directly impact your mind. So you are going to be a sort of depressive sort of a person who has your mind, matlab, you will take very slow decisions. And then basically the after effects of those, so that is what a classic Sadesati of Shani is called. And then there is Kantak Shani, there is this Shani, there is that Shani, God only knows, भैया हमें माफ करो. But any which way, so he's very very slow. तो चीजें मिलेंगी ही नहीं समय पे. तो जब चीजें मिलेंगी ही नहीं समय पे और आप मेहनत पे मेहनत पे मेहनत करे जा रहे हैं, it is a very depressive sort of a phase in life. Can you not see that? Like, will it not cause depression to you? Right? So you'll be like, क्या पता मेरी ही किस्मत में कुछ नहीं लगा. Perhaps it's just a Saturnalian thing. फिर वो कहते हैं कि अगर शनिदेव देने पे आए ना तो बहुत कुछ दे सकते हैं. तो वो भैया तो एक्सपीरियंस ही तो आपको समय ही तो बचा देगा. एक सेकंड में आपको समय बचा देगा एक्सपीरियंस. अगर आपको उस चीज का ऑलरेडी एक्सपीरियंस है तो आप समय बचा सकते हैं अपनी जिंदगी में. नाउ यू ऑलरेडी नो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन इन दैट एरिया ऑफ लाइफ. यू ऑलरेडी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द स्टॉर्म. लेट द स्टॉर्म हिट, you'll be out in one go. तो इसीलिए भाई पकड़ा देते हैं, सामान पकड़ा देते हैं आपको. तो कौन पकड़ा रहा है? शनिदेव एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग फिगरेटिवली आपको पकड़ा रहे हैं, या आपका जीवन का अनुभव या तजुर्बा आपको पकड़ा रहा है. So शनिदेव इज बेसिकली ड्राई, स्लो, static, old, ego crushing. Why ego crushing? Because, well, you realize you just have no option. Once you encounter him, you just have no option, buddy, but to go through it. The only way out of a storm is to go through is to go through it. Like, one of the most popular ubayas of Shanidev also is, so for example, you can go to a Gurdwara and do seva in a Juta Ghar. Now, Juta Ghar is basically, cumulatively, so there is no ego involved here. You take footwear of a stranger, and then, well, you park it in the appropriate spot, I would say, and then, well, you return it to them, and all the while japoing Vaheguru, another basically mode of access to the divine. So it is the perfect way to break your ego. क्योंकि हवा तो मैंने आपको बताया था ना कि हवा तो आपकी निकलेगी. चौधरी बनती तो सबकी जिंदगी, मतलब it is a certainty. मौत और आपके जिंदगी में मुश्किल समय को फेस करना, तो it is तय. I believe I've just spoken about it only. I think life is equal to letting go. And then perhaps one more discussion that I did very very recently. I can't quite recall the title of that. These are my perpetual thoughts basically. So you have to undergo. So he's basically suffering. And why is he suffering? Because result नहीं आएगा तो experience आएगा, है ना. एक्सपीरियंस आएगा. एक्सपीरियंस उस चीज का आएगा. एक्सपीरियंस इन डीलिंग विद फेलियर, एक्सपीरियंस इन डीलिंग विद द फैक्ट दैट you don't have much control over a lot of things in life. And then basically he stands for growing old, he stands for older people. So if you want to, you want to make your so-called, you want to make it better, you want to make this force of life better, perhaps be kinder to older folks. He's also कहते हैं कि मतलब इनकी एक टांग टूटी हुई है. He limps. He's very slow basically. टांग मतलब टांग टूटना, अगर एक आदमी की टांग टूटी हुई है, of course can he run? He's not going to run. Never will run. Then फिर हम सरसों का तेल चढ़ाएं, हाँ, so that he takes कृपा in you, so that he releases the blockages, the delays that you will face in any area of life, whether it's work related, marriage related, whatever related. It is all Saturn. It is all the force of Saturn, I would say. And dealing with him, oof. Very, very dry man. Not very easy to deal with. Can't even take a joke. That's what the Shani Mahatmyam says. Dangerous stuff. है ना? Why dangerous? Because A, time will kill you. B, before it kills you, perhaps it will not grant you anything. Well, that is Saturn. Now, of course, he gets a lot of poor Mr. Shani. He gets a lot of abuses. He'll get a lot of curses. But you tell me, he's placed wherever he is in your chart, and whatever experience, whatever delays that you just have to experience, because that is also a part of the human experience. But a lot of it is tied into our prarabdha karmas as well. So that's another theory. Is basically अब जो करके आए हैं उस चक्कर में तो वो तो होगा, तो उनका तो he's just basically dishing it out all back to you. Because for nature, these incarnations don't mean jack. I mean, when the next time around, like for example, if the karmic theory works on a huge time scale. So this identity that I have donned this time around, in the manner that I speak, and in the manner that I look, and in the manner that whatever wherever I am in life right now, and in or whosoever I identify myself to be, this is going to get burned down to the ground. My corpse is well, more often than not, is going to burn at Nigambodh Ghat or at Manikarnika or at Harish Chandra, hopefully either of these places, and it will be gone. This entire identity is going to basically vanish off the face of this earth. And well, if I stick on to it, I'll become a bhoot. That's what the concept of ghost is, that you just did not move on, right? Again discussed. But any which way. So this is a very terrifying thing. And what if before this happens this time around, I do not end up getting certain things that I truly wanted? Well, tada buddy. Right? So whatever I do this time around, then those prarabdha karams, they're going to be becoming prarabdha for my next lifetimes. And then, well, Mr. Shani is going to basically serve it right back to me. Delays at least in those areas, right? That is why they say Shani matures out at 36. Now, well, by the time that you're 36, you pretty much have experienced life. You must have experienced a breakup by then. If not, then perhaps a divorce. Then you must have experienced or encountered death at least 3 to 4 number of times. That is, you must have visited the cremation ground. Thanks to deaths around in your circle, in your immediate familial circle, deaths of old parents, you must have encountered the various shades of life. You must have also not gotten what you wanted to at least once or twice in life. That's why he matures out. So basically, why they say that Shani Dev is basically easier to handle after 36, because well, your battery is gone now. You pretty much know you're going to face a delay. So his Mahadasha post 36 is much easier to handle. Because if it comes, like for example, I was in 9th standard when I met him, and in 2014, and sorry, 2004 rather, sorry, or rather, my Mahadasha started of Shanidev when it was the year 2000, and I was a 13-year-old kid, and it lasted till the time that I was 32. And since he is not exactly in a very, very good position, at least in my Kundali, thanks to my own Prarabdha Karam, no blames on him, everything got delayed. And there was, I mean, I started working only at the age of 32, 33, 34-ish. I can't even recall, like 2017, I was 2019, let us say, TLOI की पहली कमाई हुई होगी. I was like 34-ish, 33-ish. I belong to the topmost school of the country. I went to a very good college. Then I pursued another degree as well. I had three, I had two, by the way. No, in fact, total of three now. And well, there I was. That's how it works. So post experiencing that, can I tell you that, well, delay is going to be, it's delay. And let us say that if he's positively placed, perhaps not so much delay. Right? So let us say that if the Saturninian force is in your house of, let us say, marriage, perhaps you will get attracted to a much more mature जीवन साथी or companion. Partner बोलना मुझे बहुत ही खराब लगता है. It's very, very sort of a business transaction sort of a relationship. All of this new lingo has come in from the LGBTQ community. Nothing against them, but I just do not. I do not like the term. But any which way, so your better half, it has much more love into it. The partner is very dry, again, very, very Saturninian. कि क्या मतलब बकवास लगा रखी है. Any which way. So yeah, so like before this video, before this discussion, because it's Saturn, I can go on and on and on about him. It's very tough. Once you undergo a Saturninian period, perhaps you will not get anything out of it except experience. And then eventually, if you can use that experience and then basically accumulate all that experience and culminate it into, or rather that experience is going to culminate into something, then perhaps you can reach the zenith in your chosen field, in that specific field, the one that you have gained experience in, right? And therefore, jai ho Shani Dev ki, offer him sarson ka tel. His Siddh Peeth is right next door to Shirdi. I believe it's a 40-50 kilometer drive. तो होता क्या है, सो शनिदेव के मंदिर हर जगह ही हैं, but the major ones, they really make a huge difference. If you are really suffering from Saturn, you can use that Gurdwara ego breaking upay as well. You can help out older people. You can help out people especially with broken legs who can't really move all that much. You can go to an old age home and then perhaps try to help out a really old person rather. And you can be a little slow in life, so do not curse yourself, because if you are under the influence of this specific graha or force, as I like to call it, then that's how things are. And respect time. You want to be as disciplined as possible with this guy. He is very particular about time, because he's time himself. He does not tolerate a delay of like 1 second. If he's sitting in your 12th house, you want to be really careful with time in your part and puja ka department, because well, 12th house is distant lands and spirituality as well. He is not going to tolerate any lapses in time. You want to be ultra disciplined. You do not wish to have any chaudhary banti type, hawa bazi type ego. मैं थोड़ा सा आजकल कम हो गया है, तो खैर मैं कर ले, ऑप्शन नहीं देंगे. Then delays are going to be a part of life. Delay का दूसरा नाम ही शनि देव है, and समय लगेगा ही. Be patient with it. Offer him oil if you wish to. Then वही पीपल के पेड़ के नीचे वो दिया इसलिए बोलते हैं, because पीपल का पेड़ primarily is very शनि like पेड़, and basically his upjoying or his pedoing in this world is thanks to the Saturninian force. So this is the logic that we use. केले का पेड़ is basically upjoying in this world thanks to the force of Brihaspati, and then Shani Dev's force affects basically, like for example in trees he will be people, very very slow to come, very persistent, very um, the paid, I would say, has a voracious appetite to grow anywhere, basically through adversity. Growth through adversity is also is equal to Saturn. Then you're going to gain a lot of experience, but perhaps no material result, because that might just be denied to you. And then eventually that material result is going to get delivered to you, but not at the time of your choosing. That might just give you depression. And he also rules injuries to the bones, perhaps the skeleton, your skeleton, because well it lasts you a lifetime, and it grows old with you. So that is also controlled. Dryness, anytime that you're facing very very dry issues in on your body, the well, watch out for them, because dryness is certainly not good. You'll have to give it again moisture, tail, and yeah, and just bow out to him, and always just say to his forces ki bhaiya thank you, because this is one aspect of life that you will have to encounter ki ji jai ho prabhu ki, I really respect you a lot. Whatever you give me, it's absolutely fine. I have matlab, he is the ego crusher. Time is the biggest ego crusher. The biggest pehlwans in their old age all are sitting there with a limped back and with a rod, and all are reminiscing about their days. Once upon a time, I used to be this. That causes them further depression. Well, it's going to happen to me as well. Any which way. So that's Shani Dev for you. If you do not wish to go to temples, then I've suggested you alternative practical remedies. It is imperative that you get to know all of this if you are born in the land of Bharat, and it is the biggest misfortune that despite being born in this Rishi Bhumi, the Tapabhumi of the gods, that you do not understand the universe's different forces that affect your existence. You are born on this planet. This planet is governed by these, primarily speaking, by these nine navgrahas. And these forces of life you will encounter. You just have to encounter them. Well, because you are here. You're not escaped them. That's why people with afflicted moons really go through a it's a hellhole of a time for them, mentally speaking. Physically, materially, everything just maybe is fine. I know of a case. This girl is going to land up in a Gucci ka night suit and will have all the material wealth in her life, and she'll be the most depressed, anxious person that I'll ever know of. I mean, it's just fated about a decade from now. But any which way, I mean, that's her fate. Can't really help it. So she's also bound. So everyone's just bound by the existence of these nerve graphs. And once you understand them, then perhaps you can align yourself better with these forces, so that you get a more favorable experience of your existence till the time that you end up meeting your death, which is a sure shot certainty for all of us. And that is why, on that note, we wind this up, because otherwise he's going to kill me and I can go on and on. But then there is a guy called Kal Bhairav as well. Pitaji, Babaji, hamare. Kal Bhairav, the guy from whom time is also terrified of. So if you have a huge Shani problem, you have to go to his Bapuji. Surya he doesn't like at all, despite him coming out of Surya. He's basically the dry sun. He's the cold sun, right? Of sun, S1. So he doesn't really like him. However, Kal Bhairav, because he's Shivji incarnate, Kal Bhairav be usually, very difficult to approach, because usually people get scared of him. You can approach Mr. Batuk Bhairav, his childlike form, because he's much more accessible and approachable in a sense, because well, he's quite young, and children are more attuned to perhaps listening to you than a fully blown mature adult would be. But Kal Bhairav is the guy that you want to approach for a Shani like problem, because well, Kal Bhairav, right? Forget the skulls, the garland, all the tantric esoteric stuff. Just go pray to him, offer him liquor if you can. And if you do not believe in offering liquor, well, then his sattvic group also accepts doodh. So offer them that pran shakti, that tattva basically, and ask for forgiveness from Shanidev. Then there is another lore in which basically people can approach Sri Hanuman for Saturn ailments. In Delhi, there is Margat Wale Baba, whose Saturday the temple is full. Hanumanji also is the son of Pran, so you can work perhaps on your breathing. And Hanumanji is extremely disciplined. Is a celibate. So when we approach Sri Hanuman, then we can literally approach him in a temple, or we can, and additionally we should imbibe some of his qualities as well. We should be courageous in facing our problems, and we should have some control over our prana shakti, because well, Sri Hanuman is the embodiment. He is the son of Vayudev. He's technically speaking, he's a master of pran, right? And he is pran himself perhaps. And then we can be celibate. And Sri Hanumanji is very disciplined with his devotion to Sri Ram. Perhaps you can try devotion to Sri Ram, and well, pray to Sri Hanuman on a Saturday कि भाई साहब इस मुसीबत से थोड़ा सा निवारण दिला दो. Because there's an entire tale in which basically Saturn owes this debt. Mr. Saturn owes this debt to Sri Hanuman. So Sri Hanuman, and basically either you approach Mr. Saturn directly via the routes that I told you. You approach Sri Hanuman for a shorter route, and you approach Sri Kal Bhairav for a shorter route. If you're not comfortable with Kal Bhairav, then you can approach Mr. Batuk Bhairav. It's the same guy. One is in a junior form, one is in a senior form. It's just pretty much the same guy. And well, that's how we decipher the reality all around us. And thank you to the rishis and people who wrote all of this, so that we could read, understand. Thank you to all of the gurus who basically taught this for decades and centuries now, and perhaps eternally. That's what Sanatan really is, so that we can improve our lives better. Right, on that note, before making this conversation very dry, wishing you folks all the very best. Jai ho to Mr. Shani Dev, who inspired me to shoot this on a Shukradev, on a Shukravar. and I'm going to be posting this on Shukrawar only. कल बैठ के देख लेना. I do not wish to give you a hallucination कि देखा शनि शनि को शनि आ गया मेरे सामने वीडियो. I am someone special. That is, those synchronicities do happen, as you know, that concept was elucidated beautifully by Carl Jung, and there is a myriad of synchronicities that you're going to be encountering in your life. However, they're not as often, or you know, they're not as common occurring as you might think. Any which way, we'll close this discussion, and perhaps, since we have spoken about 2-3 grahas now on this channel. Oh, I did one video on Shani Dev. That's how I started the channel back then, way back, about 5 years back. So it's a very Saturnian channel. I don't post all that often these days. You know, it's just a break. But any which way, may God bless you. May God protect you from another version of God Himself, that is Mr. Saturn. May He spare me if I've said something incorrect. And this can go on and on. This can be like a 3 hour sort of a discussion. But the trouble is with a monologue, you know, then you're not really having a discussion, and then basically it's just endless. I've read endlessly about all of this, so, and I've experienced a few things in my life which give me a lot of confidence in perhaps talking about this post experience. Thank you to Mr. Saturn again. ठीक है जी, see you in the next one. Do take very good care of yourself. May God bless you. And yeah, bye. So I took the video to the edit, and just realized that I completely missed out on telling you one point. Is that the courtrooms? How could we forget? Our bhai. So the courtrooms, they are controlled by Saturn. They're very, very slow. That's why in this profession, success finds you when you are quite old. You need to be old as well in this specific profession, and to basically be a master of it. Secondly is the color of the uniform. So Saturn denotes black. He also rules or lords over the color of black. The robes of a lawyer, a judge, they're all black. It's a very Saturnian profession. Since almost all of you on this channel are law students, it's the litigants face n number of delays. You face n number of delays. It is a profession that takes the life out of you because it's so ridiculously slow. I mean, you file a case, it goes from 7-11 to get it to a final argument for the file to stick with you rather, the client sticking with you. It's a very, very slow profession. I'm sure the camera, I think, has color corrected it. But any which way, so it's a very, very slow profession. So that's how you have to be patient. It crushes your ego. It will never be a fast profession. Law will just never be a fast profession, no matter what people might just say. Of course, it should be speedier, but overall, since it is ruled by Saturn, the courtrooms, overall, the legal system, the litigation overall, it is going to be perpetually slow. And that's a classic example of something that is affected by Shani Dev's effect. And if you, Mangal is quite fast. That's, you know, the color red, it's a lot of Shakti, a lot of momentum, but black is just perpetually just sitting there. It's almost static, is it not? And black doesn't even come in shades. So that's how Shani Dev does it. So yeah, I'll now end it at that note. I just wanted to put in this clip. Perhaps we'll do a detailed discussion on Shani Dev's connections with courtrooms, the law, and how the law is so basically law takes a lot of time to change as well, because it is primarily law is controlled by Saturn. Law and justice specifically, and justice is extremely slow, as you've seen it. It will never arrive fast. It just can't. The system cannot change because it's a very rigid old system. It is very dry. It takes the life out of you. It crushes your ego. It makes you experience n number of delays. So anytime that you basically face all of this, especially with a courtroom, please do know that you have encountered the force of Shani in your existence. On that note, may Shani Dev always bless all of us, you and me specifically. You know, we need those blessings. Take care. Bye.